Hey guys, it's Emma again at the Engineer Guy. This time with my fake bleached brows from a previous video. So now we're going to talk about collodion, or rigid collodion, or scarring liquid, whatever you've heard it called. That is this stuff, and that's what we're going to be playing with. So basically what this stuff does is it's a clear liquid that you paint onto the skin, and it dries and kind of constricts the skin in that area so that it looks pulled tight and it looks like a scar. It also has a bit of a sheen to it, which gives a nice scar-like effect. So first things first, you want to take some sort of pencil or paint of some kind just to kind of map out where your scar is. I like to choose something that's, you know, a little bit of a pinky tone, kind of the color you might naturally be if you scarred. It looks 10,000 times better if you have some kind of pinky or mauve-y base underneath the rigid collodion so that it doesn't look like it's just a shiny line that's the same color as your skin tone. You really want to have something, I mean, honestly, the lines on your hand, I guess, are a good point of reference. The color of those is probably round about the same color you would be if you scarred. So something that kind of matches those pinky purpley tones. I'm just using a face liner from Kryolan in, what's the color of this bad boy? I have no clue. 36. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a quick, easy demonstration on my arm for you guys. So I'm just going to kind of map out a scar here. And kind of play around with your shapes. They don't need to be perfect. They can look however, and honestly I'm not too terribly worried about it. So, weird little Y-shaped scar. Who knows what happened? Let me get this stuff off my hands. Alright. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a clean brush, just a really small brush, and just kind of go over that line just to kind of soften it a little bit and give a little bit of variation in the opacity of it, because I want some of it to be a little bit more faint and some of it to be a little bit more pigmented. Alright, so got our little lines mapped out. Now, with rigid collodion, one thing you should know, it smells crazy. It's not like the worst smell in the world. It just smells really kind of weird and bitter, slightly unpleasant, but you know what? Whatever. It's cool stuff, so we'll get through it. And you'll just paint it directly onto the skin. So with this, you want to make sure it's not in like a high movement area. So I wouldn't put it on, you know, parts of my face that move frequently, because it's just going to, when your skin moves and stretches, it kind of pulls apart the collodion and it starts to wear off faster. So I would rather not do that. So I'm going to use it in a low movement area. When I'm painting it on, I do typically like to start in the center or kind of the fattest part of the line, and then feather my way outward so that it gets kind of thinner in some places. I feel like I need like a backstory for this scar. I definitely don't have one. If I think of anything, I'll let you know. And of course you could do what I'm not doing and take that fine detail brush and use that to apply. I think that's what I'm going to do, because this brush that it comes with, not so super easy to use. Yeah. So as the skin kind of contracts, as the collodion dries, it almost like pulls inward and creates like a valley, which is really cool. One thing I have heard about the collodion is that you don't want to use it in the same spot over and over, because it can actually damage the skin if you overuse it in the exact same spot. So just be wary of that. Don't go crazy. When you are using it, I do typically like to do, just a couple of layers, just to kind of give it a little bit more drama. But again, when you're doing this at home or whatever, don't do it in the same spot every day. I'm no special effects expert, so this scar probably makes absolutely no sense, and that's fine. You guys can do something cooler with it. I'm just showing you the effect of it. Alright. So I don't know how this reads on camera, but it does have a little sheen to it. Which is great, because scar tissue does typically have a little bit of shine to it because it's very smooth and flat. So now I'm going to add just a tiny, tiny, tiny bit of paint to it, because I don't want to overdo it and make it look just ridiculous. I'm going to use the European Body Art, and this is a alcohol activated palette. So, I have some alcohol. This is the Special Effects Edition. There's a lot of primary colors in this one. Well, a lot of primary. There's only 3 primary colors that exist. They're in this palette. But that's great because you can mix and you can do whatever you want with it. So that's all the pigment I need. I really don't even need this much. I'm actually going to kind of thin it down a little bit with some alcohol. And of course you can do this on a mixing palette, or you can be messy and do it in the palm of your hand. That's fine too. And this is just the mauve color. And I'm just going to add it really pretty sparingly, just to kind of the middle part of the scar. And like I said, I'm no expert on this stuff, but you guys can play around and kind of experiment and see what works the best and what looks the best to you. Alright, so now we're going to switch over to this camera so that you guys can see a little bit more close up. And I'll kind of move my arm around so you can see the sheen and how it kind of pulls the skin in. Sorry, let's see if we can focus here. There we go. And I've seen people do some really, really impressive stuff with collodion. You can do all sorts of like crazy cuts and stuff like that. I'm a little bit less experience than that, so this is what I got. If you guys have any questions or comments, or if you try any of this out at home, please tag us or leave us a comment below, and yeah, we'd love to see whatever you're doing. So that's all I got. Have a good one.